Welcome to the Sharpening Stone, where we hone the skills to cut out toxicity and carve out a better future for your life. I'm David, a trauma-informed professional coach. Have you ever found yourself going crazy trying to make sense out of a narcissist nonsense? Well, in this video, we're going to try to make sense where there is no sense. So if you're ready, let's get sharp. Trying to connect with a narcissist is like trying to make sense out of nonsense. Everything you do to try to connect with them, hold them accountable, keep them on track with what they've said, just be heard and understood, seems to get deflected in all kinds of random ways to where you never actually feel like anything lands. And when it does, it's at such a huge expense of time and energy and emotion that it's just not worth it. So how can we make sense out of the narcissist nonsense? Well, narcissists are human beings just like you and me, and all of us have innate, subconscious, emotional, hormonal, neurological, and physiological things going on inside of us at any given moment. Not all of them lend themselves to logic or reason. That doesn't make them good or bad, right or wrong. It's just to say all of us have the experience of being caught up in something that we couldn't control or felt powerless to do anything about, to change the course of, because it wasn't rational, it wasn't logical. There was something deeper driving it. That doesn't excuse what we did if it was bad. And it's not necessarily to our credit if it was good. It's just something we did. With narcissists, they have things going on inside of them so deeply in their heart, in their mind, in their soul that are so painful, they can't bear to face them. So what do we do? What do all of us do when something is so painful and we're so desperate to find relief? Our nervous system looks for any relief. And where it finds it, our nervous system decides if a little is good, more is better. With narcissists, the pain inside of them, the shame, the guilt, the desperation to feel worthy when they feel so unworthy, they've been made to believe that they're unworthy at some point in their life, is so strong and so unbearable that they look for anything that distracts, numbs, or soothes that pain. When they're craving that relief because they're not getting any release of their torment, of their suffering, no one else matters. We've all known somebody, maybe ourselves, that we've been so sick or in so much pain, maybe with a toothache, a broken arm or leg, a broken bone, or some other pain, where we just didn't have the reserves to give anyone else kindness, patience, empathy. It didn't make it right. We may have snapped at somebody, been rude, may have been very selfish. Doesn't make it right that we were in pain, but it helps explain it, just to understand it. With narcissists, the same is true. Now, their pain doesn't justify the pain they inflict. What happens is they find release from their pain. They find a numbing, a brief reprieve, a distraction from their pain in controlling other people, in controlling how others perceive them to be seen as amazing or wonderful. So when they get that relief, their nervous system says, if a little is good, more is better. Let me find someone else to control. There's no thought about the other person's pain. There's no concern about it, because controlling them gives them relief from their own pain. Getting adulation, getting praise and affirmation for looks, for achievements, for material possessions, for appearances, gives them a relief of feeling worthless and undeserving. So nothing else matters. To get that acceptance or perceived acceptance, to get that affirmation from outside sources at any cost, truth doesn't matter. Who else gets hurt doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Triangulating other people, manipulating other people, none of that matters, because their pain is so intense, they can't afford, in their nervous system anyway, they believe, to give anyone else any consideration. That's not to say that it's right. Narcissist behaviors are hurtful, destructive, harmful, and they are not acceptable or justified under any circumstances. This is just to help understand, to make some sense out of the nonsense, that a narcissist is dealing with subconscious, neurological, physiological pain, drives, urges, conditioning that moves them, even if they thought in their conscious mind, in their rational mind, this isn't good, I don't want to do this. The drive overrides that. And they can't have any concern for you, because in their mind, their belief is, if they give you consideration, empathy, affection, authenticity, allowing you to be your authentic self, being vulnerable with you, holding themselves accountable, doing something because it's right, not because it's expedient. If they do any of that, their belief is the pain will flood back and overwhelm them and drown them in a suffocating abyss. So when we're dealing with somebody who's addicted to hurting other people, to getting adulation, to getting attention, positive attention, or even negative attention, any attention at any cost, with no regard for anyone else, we're dealing with essentially someone who's an addict, someone who's enslaved to getting their hit of relief, and they can't break free. This is why you can't reason a narcissist out of their behaviors, out of their destructive behaviors. This is why no amount of your suffering and vulnerability will ever make them care enough to stop doing the hurtful things they do. Because your pain they can't feel, but theirs is all too real. I want to reiterate why a narcissist does what they do, where it all comes from, does not justify their hurtful, destructive, deceitful behaviors. Not at all. If you're in a narcissistically abusive relationship or coming out of one, feel free to come by and check us out at sharpeningstone.net or in our community at Sharpening Stone Coaching on meetup.com, where you'll find more information on topics like this and many others related to recovering from narcissistic abuse, complex trauma, and toxic relationships, from brokenness to living authentically and in wholeness for your best life. Again, I'm David. I thank you for your time watching this video. I appreciate you being here, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, wishing you all the best success and wholeness.